national income.
From 2010 to 2013, it was decreased.
So, I will present about product approach that also known as output.
Gross domestic product per capita.
It is a significant indicator used to measure the economic health of a country, which for this time is Sweden.
Salam
Stake
2019.
2% of GDP.
Hello and Assalamualaikum everyone, my name is Ameer Danial bin Abdul Azim Rabi and I will be starting the presentation with topic 2, National Income of Sweden. Beginning with the component of macroeconomics that consists into 4 broad groups starting with household. In 2020, it is approximately amounted to around 4.8 million households in Sweden. Second is firm, which you can see on the bar chart is an example of firm in Sweden. Third is the government of Sweden, and last but not least is the foreign sector, which includes the rest of the world. Moving on to the next subtopic, which is circular flow of income. What is that? It's basically an economy model that shows you how money flows through the economy before measuring the national income of a country. There is basically 3 circular flow of income, which the first one is into sector of economy, also known as simple economy, that consists only household and firms as the economy engine. Illustrated in figure 10.1, household who owns all factor of production provide service to firm, and firm use all resources provided to create goods and service to supply back to household in order to receive revenue in return. The profit made is given to household as a wages and also as a factor of payment. The second circular flow of income is in 3 sector economy known as closed income economy. Why 3? It is basically an additional involvement from the government sector. Government plays the role to provide wages to household working as a civil servant, payment to firm for services such as health and hospitality, education, security and other services. Sweden's government receives income mainly on tax from household and firms. As a return, it will be allocated back to them as a subsidies and transfer payment. And the last circular flow of income is in 4 sector economy, also known as open economy. This is where foreign sector, including Sweden, plays a role in importing and exporting goods and services. As an example, Sweden's import car from Germany, where Sweden also export machinery, transport equipment, and also other goods and services back to Germany. And that basically brings us to the end of my part. Thank you and back to the next presenter. Bye.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Zarif bin Muhammad Zahida, and I will talk about concept in national income. For the first, I will talk about GDP, which is gross domestic product. GDP for Sweden, according to World Bank data from 2010 to 2019, this data for the first 3 years, from 2010 to 2013, it was increased, but at the 2012 it was decreased. From 2013 to 2015, it decreased. After 3 years, from 2015 to 2018, it start to increase, but at the 2019 decrease again. Second is Sweden gross national product. Gross national product in Sweden decreased to 1,302,981 Sweden krona in the first quarter of 2021, from 1,335,273 Sweden krona in the fourth quarter of 2020. That's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum and hi, my name is Nurul Syifa'a binti Al-Usman. So, I will present about product approach that also known as output approach. As we can see, the table have shown the percentage of GDP for 3 sectors, which are primary sector, secondary sector and tertiary sector from years 2006 until 2019. According to the data collected from World Bank data, we can see in 2019 the sector has shown the highest GDP is on service sector, which is 65.2%, while the GDP of agriculture sector is 1.4% and manufacturing is 13.0%. The GDP of these 3 sectors is remain unchanged for 2018 and 2019. For 2017, it has shown that the GDP of agriculture and manufacturing sector is still unchanged, which is respectively 1.4% and 13.0%, while the GDP of service sector is 65.1%. From the data, we can conclude that the GDP of agriculture is hard to change, while the manufacturing and service sector is easy to change. That's all from me. Thank you. Bye.
Assalamualaikum and hi. My name is Sharifah Milisya Izwa binti Syed Muhammad Isham. So now I will present for you guys about gross domestic product per capita, that also known as GDP per capita. Do you guys know what is GDP per capita? GDP per capita is a metric that breaks down a country's economic output per person and is calculated by dividing the GDP of a country by its population. By the easier word to understand, GDP per capita is average income per head of population. GDP per capita is often used as an indicator of living standards. Based on the data collected from World Bank data from year 2006 until 2019, it shows that the highest GDP per capita is on 2013, which is $61,126.9 US, while the lowest GDP per capita is on 2006, that is $46,593.6 US. As we can see, GDP per capita for the year 2019 is $51,648.0 US. Compared to 2018, the GDP per capita for the particular year is $54,589.1 US. It has shown that GDP per capita was decreased from 2018 to 2019.
Assalamualaikum and hi there fellows. I'm Firdaus, one would gladly share with you an input of macroeconomics in Sweden regarding the uses of national income statistic. Before we get deeper, little do you know that it is a significant indicator used to measure the economic health of a country, which for this time is Sweden. I'll be sharing the following 4 uses. The first is standard living indicators. Sweden achieved by all means in various measures of well-being relative to the Better Life Index by ranks above the average, particularly in all aspects. As a whole, Sweden is much more satisfied with their lives than the OECD average, which is up to 7.3 on average, higher than the OECD standard, which is 6.5. For government planning and policies, the Swedish is more focused on a wide array of consideration, ranging from innovation and employment to public service and transport. In April 2018, the Swedish presented a new strategy of sustainable urban development, livable cities, which focused mainly on environmental sustainable development. In sectorial contribution, Swedish is pretty rich in natural resources. The agriculture sector presents 1.4% in GDP, which employs 1.6% of the workforce. The industrial sector contributes up to 22.2% of GDP, which employs barely 17.7% of the workforce, as dominated by groups of AstraZeneca, Volvo, IKEA, and even H&M. Last of all, international comparisons. Sweden is a competitive and highly liberalized open market economy. The majority of Swedish enterprises are privately owned and market-oriented, combined with a strong welfare state involving up to 3/5 of GDP. Just so you know, in 2014, this national wealth income owned by the government was 24%. Thank you.
So hi, my name is Zatil Syauqina binti Muhammad Zarif, and my part to present is about the problem of measuring national income in Sweden. Of all, like other countries, Sweden also suffer of lack of reliable data to compute national income. The reliability of data relating to national income estimation is also questioned in Sweden. National income estimate is made on the basis of primary data relating to income and value of food produce. It is observed that many producers do not maintain any account of their incomes or even good produce. Obviously, the primary data that are collected from this source is supposed to be vague. Besides, illegal incomes also becomes a problem in measuring national income in Sweden. In other words, illegal form of economic activities and illegal activities that are not supported to the authority for purpose of paying taxes are left out from the national income account. This is what we call underground and black economy. According to an annual survey by German Economic Institute Law, the black market in Sweden is estimated to represent 13.9% of country's GDP. Lastly, difficulties in the classification of working population. In Sweden, working population is not clearly defined. For instance, agriculturists in Sweden are not engaged in agriculture around the year. In off-season, they engage themselves in alternative occupation. In such case, it is very difficult to identify their incomes to a particular occupation. There are only a few sectors in Sweden that could be classified as industry sector, which consists of coal, oil, electricity, mineral, and mineral sectors that include gold, silver, iron, copper, and zinc. And that's all from